featured Mark Merday and the Barbershop Crew. Find us on Facebook, X, and Snapchat at OSP with MM. On Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Original Sports Podcast, and on Twitch at OSP with Mark Merday. Find our link tree and other socials in the description. Much thanks to our supporters, Scotty's Vodka, Rockwell Brewery, and Belisario's Pizza.
Boom, boom, boom. When I hear that joint, I know it's go-go, and I like it. I really do, because I'm the one who picked that shit out. But it kind of reminds me of Doctor or the Minions. You know, Despicable Me. Boom, 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 boom.
Well, I never seen that, so I don't know.
Dr. Nefario. Hey, fellas, welcome back, everyone, to the OSP, the Original Sports Podcast. Season 6, episode 5. Five episodes in already.
Yeah,
5 episodes in. That's hard to believe. That is some hard shit to believe. Football's officially back. We got a packed show tonight. I'm going to be honest with you. We're going to start with the Steelers preseason game, too. Okay. Against the Jets. That's in the book, so we'll talk about that, what we learned, see if anybody helped himself, which I don't think so. See who hurt himself, which we got a plethora of wannabe dogs that hurt themselves, to be quite honest with you. Roster battles. Who's going to go? Who's going to stay? Then we're going to take a little look at college football. College football's back. It's week 0. Like, just call it week 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, why we got to call it week 0? Anyway, yeah. So it's week 0. We'll hit the biggest stories floating around college football, which currently there isn't a whole lot going on. Like, we're not hearing as much as I thought, but there's one thing I can't wait to talk about, y'all. We were blowing up our text a little bit about it today. I think Sheen hit us with it, and then we rolled from there. And there was some other fake stuff out like that. Oh, it was choppers? Okay. And then we're going to continue our NFL division breakdown. We're going to take a look at the NFC East, the Eagles, the Commandos, Cowboys and Giants. We only got an hour, fellas. I don't know how we do it, but that hour isn't enough. So let's maximize this time so that we can get rocking. I want to thank all my guys, though. Before we go any further, I want to give a shout out to Waddy, because Waddy's the guy who writes the shows. He takes care of any of the other stuff like that. Appreciate you. I want to give a shout out to Sheen. He has changed all of our social media handles. Most of them were running through me, and he's changed everything over. Twitter? Did you do Twitter, Sheen?
Twitter.
He did X. He did Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Yeah. So Sheen is in charge of all the social media now. Big shout out to him for doing that. And Chops is always Chops. Chops is digging and grinding. He's looking for guests for us. He's putting out those little blurbs. He's the only one of us who's fearless enough to go online every week.
Gotta give people what they want to see. Gotta give people what they want to see.
They love that face, don't they, Big Man? They love that face. Yeah, so man. I just want to shout out the crew. Coming back from our little hiatus, it's just been a total different feel. And I appreciate all you guys. So let's rock this shit tonight. Let's get after it a little bit here. So Steelers, Jets, the quarterback situation. Who looked better, Will or Drew? We kind of know that. The O-line, I'll tell you what. How about the running back spot? Who we thinking about right there? Is Jeremy Bernard going to overtake Roman Wilson because he got butterfingers? Roman Wilson even going to make the roster. So we're going to take a look at those things first on offense. Break it down for me, fellas. What are we thinking here? I'm going to give you my first opinion, though. I don't know what's going to happen with Will Howard if he has a bad showing this week.
Okay. All right. Here's the thing. Will Howard still threw for more yards than Drew Aller. Technically, I understand he threw 2 interceptions, but
bad interceptions.
Hold on.
They were bad.
Hold on. He made the proper reads. Now, the problem was, which bothers me because this going into a second year and 2 offensive teams haven't gotten it correct. I said it last week. He wasn't throwing the ball on a frozen rope. He aims it. And had he put a little bit of mustard on those passes, they're on the money and they're not intercepted. That, to me, is because, again, he made the right reads. But, the second one was that Wetchin.
So now you're talking about arm strength.
Hold on.
Well, that's the thing, Woody. I don't know if it's arm strength or he's so used to when he was at Ohio State, his guys were so open, he didn't have to thread.
Well, no, and that's what I was going to say, Chops. You said if he put some mustard on it, they would have been complete, but I don't think they were open. Like in college, those guys, that might be considered open. In NFL, that ain't considered.
If you can go back and watch those, I believe even at 42, Rodgers still makes those throws.
Yes, that's a fact.
But he's confident in his arm. I gotta believe Will Howard can make that, though. He's just used to aiming rather than just letting it go. That's my thing. When you rewatch it, he made the right reads. And again, I don't know if it was Wetchen, whoever threw that when he threw that interception in the red zone. That dude, it was squared off route. I understand it was INT, but to me, I still believe Will Howard can do it. I just worry about it. The same thing with his arm strength. And I hate to say arm strength. He just needs to throw it and not aim it. Because even last night, guys were waiting for the ball.
I think it's arm strength. I mean, when he came out, that was the knock on him, was the arm strength. Nobody ever questioned what he had from the neck above. Nobody ever questioned that. And that's why he was 6th-round pick.
Well, one of the things that I heard people talk about this week with Howard, they definitely tagged him for one of those INTs, and the other one was they said Roman Wilson can't run very good routes, and one of those routes he rounded instead of cutting it short.
Then that was Wilson. I want to say in the red zone. That's what, or in the red zone. That's where he rounded that route, and he didn't break it off hard. And
that was on him. That was on Wilson. This is why. And I hate to say it, but this is why Tomlin didn't like him. His routes were bad. He has a lot of the complementary stuff he needs. He could get off the line. Okay. He doesn't get held up at the line or anything like that. He'll block for you, but his route running is just not crisp.
Okay, and we can't get into it today, but this will be a future topic where we're always going back. This is his 3rd or 4th year in the league. Why can they not develop him into a better route runner? You know what I mean? That's where we're always talking. Like, if you have the talent, you have the talent. They scheme, but you.
So this is where Sheen and I were talking about it last week. These guys come into the league with raw ability. They come in with raw ability, and the coaching, it's up to the coaching to get that job done. They need to figure out where the guy's not making his plant foot. I was always taught, or what I always taught when I work with receivers was, you're breaking the glass on that cut. You're hitting the floor, you're hitting the plate, you're cracking the plate. Then you're making your cut out, you're making your cut in, you're coming back to the ball, and he's not smooth.
That goes back to his college. They should have developed that there, and then he should be able to come in and then keep doing that. But I was telling Chops, I seen where T.J. Houshmandzadeh said there might be 3 good wide receiver coaches in the NFL. He said he came to the sideline one time, and coach said, "I need you to get open." He said, "Well, can you tell me how?" And the coach couldn't tell him. So that's gonna be a topic. Trust me.
Fellas, what did you? Now let's get out of the quarterback thing, because I heard today, and this came right from McCarthy's mouth, that there's going to be 4 quarterbacks on that roster. You are not going to see Mason again this week. He's seen enough of Mason between practice, between previous seasons, and from what he knows now, that Mason made that roster. And he does not want to dangle those 2 young quarterbacks out there. He just doesn't want to do that. Let's face it, is it Eller or Alar? Whatever his damn name is, he's got the arm and the athleticism. Yes. That completed pass that he threw from 50 yards to get a 38-yard completion on the money, dropped it in the bucket. Waddy, remember we used to work on that, putting the trash cans out there? Sheen, we put the trash cans out there. We taught a quarterback, drop it in the bucket, and that's what he did. Like that was old school how you get that done, and that looked impressive. They continue to say about Eller that he was taught nothing at Penn State. Like he was ripped down to the studs, and he should have had learned under a self-proclaimed quarterback guru up there, the previous head coach. He didn't learn it. He didn't have it, so they had to teach him this. This is McCarthy, and this is why they like him so much.
Well, a little bit with that on Franklin. Now, I was always told that he never had receivers that could get open.
Last year he didn't.
I don't think he
But
ever
you know
had.
what? Okay, didn't Franklin recruit the receivers out, or didn't?
Yeah.
Wasn't he the?
Yes,
You know, he's a
yeah.
recruiter.
I'm just saying.
That has nothing to do with. Remember, when the big knock on LR was when he came out was his footwork, his mechanics, and so forth. That has nothing to do with the receivers. So he never had that part. And so far, what he's displayed in the 2 games is his footwork and all that has not been an issue at all. And
Fellas, there's going to be some easy cuts.
Yeah,
Waddy, there's going to be some easy cuts at receiver. There really is. Like it's not.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be. I don't think that's going to be a difficult decision. The kid from Iowa, the kick returner, as good of a game as he had first game, he disappeared second game. So he's not going to be.
And I still say with that, the special teams is awful, man.
It is bad.
Yeah.
It's
Fellas,
awful. I can't even get a good. You can't even tell.
But honestly, is hype as we were, the way they looked in the play that we got from the young guys and the team after the first one is a complete 180 after the second one. To me, I don't know, as much as you can feel good about game 1, you can feel good about game 2. So I am literally right back to where I was the first day of camp. You don't know anything. You don't know anything.
Well,
Here's what I fear for
this week will give us a little more insight on what it's going to be, Chops, because I can't say who Howard and Allard, did they play against ones? Because I think they did play against a lot of ones in those first few series.
Yeah, we know Howard did. We know Howard did.
So I mean,
and now Aller will this week or Allard will this weekend. But I fellas, I don't. But also on the same token, and it did bother me how easy Geno in that Jets offense made that first series look. But then I stopped and thought, Hayward wasn't there. Watt wasn't there.
Nobody was. Yeah.
Ramsey not there. But however, though, fellas, if those guys go down, and again, it was one series, but some of those guys are fighting for positions. And
that's the key.
I expected a little more.
It was one series, and then those guys locked themselves in, and they, for the most part, they held their own, besides being put in bad position. But so that does show the depth that defense does have.
My guy, our guy Rod here. Rod. Hey, look, Rod, I get it. About Bo Nix, but Bo Nix played 6 years of college football, number one. And number two, he also has a quarterback guru in Peyton. But he's got 6 years of college football. Just keep that in mind. He had 6 years coming out? At least 5 years. I know he did. He went to how many different programs?
Yeah.
That makes a difference.
Where he graduated from.
Whereas Aller and Howard went to 2 programs. And Aller went to 1. He went to Penn State. So we'll see what happens there. What'd you think of the running backs?
Caleb looked a lot better than what he couldn't go down. That was for sure. So he did look a little bit better. There's a one run he had that actually looked like a running back. Looked like he wanted to be there.
Yeah.
But then, again, the offensive line is everything has to bounce outside. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, he couldn't bounce it either. He didn't get to that corner.
No. But fella, and I'll say it then and I'll say it again. That O-line is still my biggest concern. And I like the patchwork and trying to get it, but that is my biggest concern.
You can't play with 3/5 of a line, and Broderick is just not going to make it. He's going to get cut. He's going to get cut.
And I can't believe it. I really thought Cook was coming in. I thought that was his position.
I did too, because I was going to say because from the end of last year when they were all coming together, it looked good, but now Cook looks like me.
I don't, here's my question, and I still can't seem to figure this out. Why did they move Fonotano? Why did they move him?
I don't know.
Over to the other side. Is that? what was the?
Maybe they thought he was going. Maybe because left is supposed to be the best, I guess, and they think he's the best of what they have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's just weird to me.
I hear.
Rod, you can't be more true. We know that. We've spoken about that countless times. I mean, at the end of the day, Tomlin was just not an offensive guy. He just wanted to let me protect the ball and not get turnovers kind of guy. And he wanted his defense to win the games like they did in the olden days. But so at the end of the day, that offensive line has got to find some kind of rhythm going into this last game.
And
you're right.
And pick came back today too. The Max came back today.
But he's going to be behind the 8 ball. You know what? Okay. And Rod and I worked at Kmart together. 01 Code S. He knows what it means. We go back to high school days. But here's the thing. Denny Green said it best. You are what your record says you are. As much as we think he and all these guys are going to be in a better offensive system, this, that, and the third, at the end of the day, said it before, Tomlin and your boy McCarthy are dead even with their offenses, with their records. Dead even.
But it's a difference being dead even because your coach is the head coach of the defense, and the other head coach is the head coach of the offense. The NFL is an offensive-minded game. I would rather, if I had to have a coach who's dead even, 2 guys dead even like you have them, I would rather have the offensive guy. I would rather have the guy that can put up 30 points.
Mark, if you show up at the event in a tuxedo and I show up in overalls, we're still at the same event. What's the matter how we're dressed? I mean, I understand his offenses look good in Tomlin's
because when it comes to pulling the honeys, I'm probably going to get a little bit more than you just because I'm in a tuxedo and I look smoother.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see. Let me ask you this real quick. Mark made a comment about cuts are going to be easy, right? If cuts were today, would Johnson be on the team?
Who's Johnson? Oh, Caleb.
Yeah. Would he be on the team?
You know who won't be on that team? Heidenreich from Mount Lebanon. He's definitely going to be a practice squad kid, but I don't see him making that squad. There's too much else there. I don't know what they're asking Johnson to do.
I like Nichols.
I like Nichols.
Like Travis Homer, I don't know. Like, because he's a great special teams guy, you use a spot up for that?
Yeah, why do we need those? I'm lost on that. Why do we need hold on. Bases? Are there only guys that can make the tackles on special teams?
But Mark hit it, and he didn't even realize it. Because if you take Johnson over Homer, you have one position in the running back. If you do put Homer, he can be a running back and a special teamer. Johnson's not going to be a special teamer. And if you're keeping 4 quarterbacks, you're going to need a guy or two that can do multiple positions.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to.
Well, it's going to be the position where you can cut somebody and re-sign them to the practice squad and feel comfortable about it. Because if you cut one of those younger quarterbacks, they're definitely getting scooped up. I don't care what Will Howard has looked like. He's getting scooped up because he has potential that the other teams in the league probably saw. You know, I mean, I was listening to Orlovsky talk about it. I was listening to Doran Dickerson talking about it. You know, if you have that potential to be on a roster for 2 years, basically, I mean, you're going to get scooped up. You know, Howard's not just going to sit out there. Somebody's going to be willing to take a flyer on him and make him a number 3. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think where you're going to end up sacrificing is going to be offensive line, and somebody's going to be on the practice squad from the offensive line. That's why they always sign guys that can play multiple positions. Swing tackle, somebody who can play guard and center, somebody who can play both guards, somebody who can play guard and tackle. You know, you can run with 9 dudes on the offensive line and have a couple of guys stashed if that's the case. But I don't know. For me, it's hard to swallow that right now just because I don't think that they can – I just don't think Caleb Johnson ever got the right shot with that team. You know, you stuck him back to return kicks. He wasn't a kick returner, and then you sent him to the abyss.
But hold on. And I would agree with you because let's say, like we said, Tomlin didn't know offense. But your boy McCarthy does know offense. And he still can't get on the field. And then when he does, he's still not showing even flashes of what he sort of was at Iowa. And I understand it's different levels to this. But, fellas, at what point do we say, dude, you just ain't got it? If it comes down to that, because he can't return punts. He's not a special teamer. What are you going to do? You know what I'm saying?
Waddy, you know what the show is next week, right?
Yeah.
Yep, we're cutting down to our 53 man, and we're going to we're going to do the best we can at picking up a taxi squad, because I mean, some of these guys are going to go there, but they're going to see dudes from other teams that get cut, and they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to jump on him and bring him to our taxi squad. Like, that's going to happen. You know that's going to happen.
Listen. For me, real quick, when I'm judging talent, I like to judge it by it playing good talent. I don't care what you did against Watkins Mill. I don't care what you did against, I don't know, whoever else.
Kennedy.
Watkinsville High School. I don't care. So for me, I never was a Caleb Johnson fan because he built up a lot of yards against the sadder teams, and then he kind of didn't show up. I know you're not going to run over Ohio State, but can you get 80 yards maybe?
But then again, you look at when you got the Ohio State, when they've got a better line, offense and defense than Iowa, you got to take that into consideration as well. I don't see him hitting the whole 80. What's that?
Hey, at the end of the day, fellas, it's all about reps. It's all about reps. If you're going to give that dude reps in the preseason, and he's not grinding it out and getting 4 or 5 yards of carry in the preseason against 2s, 3s, Walmart workers, dudes who are going to be on practice squads, if he's not doing it then, after he gets 15 carries in the preseason, 10 carries in the preseason, then he ain't going to cut it. Like that's the way you got to look at it. It's about the reps, though, at the end of the day. Same with Will Howard, same with Drew Eller, all those guys. There's only so many reps. There's only one ball to go around. So, hey, let's jump into the defense, because we could be on this offense all freaking night. All right. So the defense, pass rush, the young DBs, the linebackers were stud. They were stud.
Queen finally stood up. Queen came to the party.
It was nice that they signed Landon Roberts last week. That was one of the smartest moves that they made. One of the smartest, because
he comes to play every week. He comes
every week. He's a lunch bell guy.
He laying the wood. It don't matter.
He had 93 tackles last year on a Raiders team that got thrown all over.
Well, he knows Graham's system too. So that helps a lot. He might be even if he's not wearing a green dot, but he'll damn sure be another coach on that field when he's out there. Nobody's
Does the safety position worry you guys at all?
What's that mean?
No.
Does the safety position worry you at all?
No, because I like that kid who is it Jenkins? He showed he had a couple plays last. I like him. I like that kid.
He's going to be a special teamer if he makes the roster, because you've only got 4 spots. You're going to have Brisker, Deshaun Elliott. Who's the other dude? They not Savage. They cut Savage, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but they signed somebody else in place of him, a veteran defensive safety.
Jenkins?
I think it was. It might have been Jenkins. Yeah, but it's going to be interesting to see what they do with that spot, because now you got Ramsey back too, and Ramsey ain't going to be slotted in as a
slot. He's a slot.
Yeah, I just saw today that Rasheen's guy Eccles is on physically unable. He's on the pup.
Yes,
he's on the pup. So, if you got enough talent back there with that kid that we got from Georgia, that boy's. I didn't know that boy was going to be legit like he looks. He's a huge help back there. Let's talk about this real quick right now, since we're DBs. What are you doing with Joey Porter? I mean, we got to sign him, right? Now they're saying he's at an impasse. We talked to Noah 2 weeks ago, right? It was 2 weeks ago we talked to Noah, and Noah said, no, they're going to sign him. They're going to sign him. I personally still think that he will be signed. I don't think he's going to be worth a shit until about a month into the season.
Well, I think it was me and Sheen talking, or somebody was talking to. I've read multiple articles, and they listed like the last 11 guys, prominent guys, players that held out at their positions, and that season was statistically one of their worst. Because and Porter needs to learn, unless McCarthy's idea for Porter is every weekend you go with their top receiver and you're whatever, he's going to be behind because he's not learning the system. And I understand he may be reading the playbook. He may be watching film. But fellas, we know live reps are significantly different than just film study. So
we just said that
on that. Now, let me ask you this. Porter is not McCarthy's guy. However, McCarthy and his team should know the type of numbers, having given up a touchdown, whatever have you. If this drags on, Does Porter, because he's young, he gets into his feelings, let's keep it a buck. Does he take this personal? And does he, at some point, if they take another 5-6 days, if this goes, does he request a trade? Does he feel disrespected? Fellas, this is a new era, and you know how these young cats are.
His dad's in his ear, and he respects his dad, and he loves his dad, and he follows his dad's directions. You know that's happening. And his dad's going to tell him, this is the way they do it. This is the way they do it. And he's going to tell him, trust the Steeler way. The Steelers are going to pay you. You're going to get what you want. You may not get top dollar. And that leads me to this question. Is he in the top 10 at corners? Because I don't think he is. I don't think he's the top 10 corner. I know he hasn't given up a touchdown. I get it.
But see that, and I think, hold on, but I think you guys are wearing the same goggles, so to speak, as I am, because I didn't think that he was a top 10. I didn't, but his numbers say that he is. Your numbers, you are what you are, fellas. I mean,
what number? When you say his numbers, what numbers are you speaking of?
No touchdowns. I don't even. Hold on. You do realize in his years he hasn't even slipped in coverage and given up a TD.
Well, let me. I'm gonna ask Waddy because he's a DB himself. But I'm gonna tell you, for me, now, if you didn't give up the touchdown, did you give up the ball that got them down to the 3-yard line where they just ran it in?
Okay, hold on. Yeah, hold on.
Did you get a personal a pass interference to put them in the red zone for them to score a touchdown?
Hold on, but we also give guys kudos for touchdown saving tackles. So yes, he might have put him in there, but he hasn't given up. But also, biggest thing is this. We've always said we never have a problem with the guy at effort. At some point, you need to develop him. Like, and I'm not saying he could have been Deion Sanders. I'm not saying he could have been Darrelle Revis. But those guys lock guys down without always being physical. So at some point, his game should have evolved, so to speak, where he could be in your pocket without always draping over you. And I blame that on the coaching staff because they haven't developed that, because he has a talent to run with any receiver in the league. So, but my thing is he going to get up? Is he worth it? And when you're fellas, come on now. Here's the thing. You can't coach effort, but you can coach technique. He's got the effort. He needs the technique.
Here, I'm gonna go for my guy right here, and this is a fair question. This is a fair question coming from this dude right here. He says, "Wait, where's he at?" He said, "Name 9 better." Okay, Summer. Okay, that's a fair question. Let me give you 9 better. Let me give you 10. Pat Surtain, Stingley Jr., Witherspoon, Christian Gonzalez, Quinion Mitchell, Trent McDuffie, Sauce Gardner, Cooper DeJean. Kwame Lassiter. What?
No.
What you mean?
No, not DeJean. Hell no. Hell no.
Don't say Sauce.
And here's the thing, fellas. I'm telling you flat out. If any one of those guys has given up a touchdown, you're automatically disqualified.
Why is it just about a touchdown?
Hold on. The point. Hold on.
Does Brian Urlacher get kicked out? Does he get kicked out of the top linebackers from Bussy running over on the goal line? Bussy ran his ass right over. Hold on, Sheen. That's one play. Porter's been doing it. Hold on. Porter's been doing this multiple seasons. You play to win the game. I play to get to make sure you score less points than I do. When you are a corner and you've given up not one, fellas, come on. I don't even care what you say. Nobody. He didn't even slip. Listen,
you can slip and give up a touchdown.
Hold on. All the fans that are commenting, please tell me who your favorite team is before you comment. Because if y'all just wearing Steeler glasses, I'm wiping you out.
Yeah, right there.
I get it. I didn't realize that. But when you start, dog, I gotta think that's gotta go. Come on, dog. If you
half the time they're playing defense and they're freaking 15 yards off at the goal line anyway. You gotta look at the realistic.
At the end of the day, no TDs given. No TDs given. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Everybody else is at least giving up one. He hasn't given up any.
Hey, look, we're not contesting if JPJ should be paid and that he's not a top tier. I'm saying he's not a top 10 guy. You know, a lot of those guys I named right there play man to man. and we never played man-to-man under Tomlin's system. And
That's
hurts.
Tomlin. That's right. That's Tomlin. So we
Okay,
can't blame
we
the
haven't
player
seen
for
what he
that.
does under. No, I don't blame him. I think it's admirable, everything he's done. He's fought through all those flags that they kept calling his ass for, which is incredible to me, half of those flags they were throwing.
And Chops, he gave up one his rookie year, by the way, just so we know that.
Okay, so here we go. Look. Porter held Chase to 30. Come on now. Come on. Chase had 16 catches one game against the Steelers. We don't want to go down that road. Please don't go down that road.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a quick question, Chops. Is he a follower?
What do you mean?
He should be.
Is he a follower? See, that's what I'm saying. So you're saying all this thing, but when I say is he a follower, you're telling me what do I mean? Does he follow the best receiver every game?
That wasn't Tomlin's move.
That's what I'm saying. Hold on. The bottom line, you cannot. Okay, so if Joey Porter now says screw this, I'm sticking with the top receiver. They're yelling at him. That's not what your thing is. He's going to be clowned. He's going to be saying he's not a team player. You can't blame him for the scheme he was put in. Just like we don't blame Watt. We don't blame Watt for the scheme he was put in. But fellas, okay, now if they're saying one in his 3-year NFL career, to me, again, I don't care if you're a pitcher and you give up 9 hits, but you don't give up a run. The point is don't let them score. That is what that's how I look at it. That to me, that's me, because we all see in the NFL, the Bengals, they just got to outscore people 49-30. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying the dude shouldn't be signing. I'm not saying the dude shouldn't be paid. Okay? He should get a bag. He really should get a bag. But I don't know if $80 million. I don't know if $80 million guaranteed.
Because now, Mark,
personally, I think they overpaid Watt. Okay, we could go there. And he's getting a bag. The first thing they should be doing is sitting Watt's ass down and saying, listen, we need to sign this young buck. He's the future of this franchise. You got your bank. You're carrying your bag. You're good. I don't need to watch film
Mark,
still.
You said it. I think if his dad's in his ear, it's bad.
I watched plenty of film. I watched the all 22. I have the all 22. It's not about that. I'm not contesting his ability. Part of the reason that he's in this position is because he played under Tomlin, who played zone, and he played his corners off 15 freaking yards. So the guys are catching it in front of him, and he's making the play, which is what he's supposed to do. I mean, let's just be realistic. Now, I like this. Hold up, Tyrone Keaton. That's what I like. That's what he should get. I agree with you 100%. Finish this year, tack 4 more years on it, give him $60 million guaranteed. I will sign off on that. If I was Rooney, I would sign off on that. No question about it.
Well, Rooney is because it's frugal, but you got to look at what some of the other top corners, because that's what he's saying. And if his dad's in his ear, I don't know if his dad's there. That's 2 different schools. That's old school and his dad. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd have to.
My bigger problem with it all is, and this isn't just about JPJ, because I love the kid. I do. I'm so happy he's a Steeler and he's going to stay a Steeler. My problem is, since when can you work a job and you have a contract working this job and you're like, nah, my contract's up next year. I just ain't going to do nothing until I get a new deal. I realize it's pro sports, but that's the old ass me. That's the old ass me. Like, I don't get that one.
Well, and I think if teams were more fair with a lot of players, because we know in the old days, players worked and played through injury, but when it was time to give them the contract, the teams now say, well, your numbers drop. Well, yeah, his numbers drop because you asked him to play through bad injury, and now you're not rewarding him. And also these guys, we'll see, man. We will see. I just want to know, if it goes too long, does Porter get ticked off and say, trade me? That's what I want to see.
Here's the difference between Porter and JPJ, or Herbig and JPJ. JPJ gets more guaranteed money. That's the sticking point. At the end of the day, that's the sticking point. Personally, I'd be kicking around trading Highsmith while he's still healthy, because in about a month after we get started, his ass is going to be.
Well, he still got value.
Yeah.
So you're high on Sawyer.
You're not hearing much about Sawyer at this camp, though. You
But
know,
he's been
still,
he might not be he hasn't been flashy, I guess, but he's been solid even in some
he's
of the
always
games.
been.
So.
He was solid last year, for the most part. And I'm not comparing. Look. Still, I think it was still Loyal that said this to me. Oh no, it was Tyrone. I'm not comparing real life to the NFL, but at the end of the day, I don't give a shit what you do. You have to honor your contract. Like, work through whatever it is. I hated that shit. When they did it years ago. I always thought it was crazy. These dudes would just sit out of camp. It throws him back, like we said at the beginning of the show. Porter ain't going to be no good the first week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe. Who knows? He hasn't done anything. It's a difference between coming into camp in shape. You know, he's in shape coming into camp, but playing football shape is different. It's different. If you're a football guy, you know that.
Nobodies. Still Loyal says we are nobodies. These guys are the top 1%. I agree with that, Still Loyal. But if we're going to say that, then we're going to have to listen to what Jamar Chase and the wide receivers say about their peers, because those are their peers. Me and you ain't their peers. And they say Denzel Ward's in that top 10. So where's that chop? Will you keep Denzel in their chops?
You know, hey, I appreciate you guys chiming in. That's what this show's all about. Getting you all to chime in.
I love Still Loyal. I like this dude.
Yeah, I like them all, man. Every one of these guys had great comments. Every one of them. You know, I think you don't have to like them all, but I'm appreciating them being on here. I don't know one of them right there. I don't know one.
I love it. No, I'm just messing with them.
Hey, so at the end of the day, what's this week got to answer? Like going into this final preseason game, because then you got 2 weeks to over 2 weeks off after that. What's this week got to answer?
That O-line. You better fix it.
Whatever
is going on, whatever combination you need to figure, that you need on that field, you got to know what it is. You cannot have this week be like the other two where the O-line just looks in shambles. It has got to be solidified.
Me? Are you talking me?
No,
are you talking me, Sunbird? Oh, okay.
Talking about me. He on my sound system now. Now he on my sound system.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all good.
Come on, man. You know that don't shake me.
He threw you under the bus right there. He called you out, Sheen.
He did.
So at the end of the day, we need to see that O-line. We need to know which one of those quarterbacks is either going to go to the practice squad in some way, shape, or form. But I don't think they pass through waivers. And I agree with you, Sunbar. One of those quarterbacks, and you got to figure out that running back piece. Are you going to keep Caleb Johnson? And if you are you going to have 4 backs? Because we already know the top 2 backs, and we know that they're going to keep Travis Homer. I would be shocked if they cut that dude loose. I would be shocked just because they always want that one stud special teamer. Not that I agree with that shit, but that's just the way it is.
Skoranek, he's a stud on special teams.
He is.
I agree with you, dude, because what Chop says, Homer can play running back in a pinch if he has to, but he's also going to be out there, running down the field. So yeah, I agree with that.
I'll share this. Let me share this right here. I'll share this, Tyrone. That is a good point. I value what you say. I think there's other dudes just as good as him. We'll see when he matches up more man to man this year. And I hope he travels. I hope he goes with whoever is the top receiver. That shit last year when they played Cincinnati, that first game. Yeah, I think they will. I think they will. That's the problem. Still Loyal. That's that mentality in Pittsburgh. But
I agree, son.
When he was on T. Higgins. When JPJ was on T. Higgins and they kept going to Chase, like, where was Tomlin's brain? Like, was he napping? Was he thinking about his baby mom? I don't know.
Hey, listen, I know we got a script here, but these dudes are blasting, man. I can't even keep up, man. They're killing. I like it.
I know. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I agree with this statement right here. He's useless on offense.
I agree with it too. I definitely agree. I mean, I told y'all he was a bummer earlier, like 3 weeks ago. Y'all got mad at me. I said it.
No, I didn't really get mad at you, but I understood what they were doing. And now that you said Skoranek, I'm like, okay, yeah, because Skoranek's is number 6.
But fellas,
Skoranek's number 5.
I didn't realize. You do realize
You know what I mean?
Dowdle and Warren are about the same size. I didn't realize how small Dowdle was until last week. If we've got two small backs back there, they used to say the problem with Warren was he wasn't durable. We might need as many of those cats as we can get back there to tote the rock. Just keeping it. I didn't realize how small he was.
Tyrone.
Here's
the thing with Tyrone, or not Tyrone. Here's the thing with Warren, though. He'll stick that fucking helmet right here, baby. You'll know he hit you. He will step up and plug you. That's how he won his spot. To start with. So, all right. Moving on. College football 2026. FBS college football starts this week. Okay, I don't really like this zero shit. Like that doesn't chime with me. But the top matchup. This is the top matchup. North Carolina and TCU in Dublin, Ireland. All right, that's insane to me. So FCS fully moved its season opener to week 0 this year. This is the first year they're doing it. A lot of subdivision matchups going down. It all starts Thursday night, and then there's games on Friday night. So, we know what the best game is this week. Is this game important for Bill Belichick?
That's not the important. That's not the game of the week. But
that ain't the game of the week.
No,
which one's the game of the week?
NC State, Virginia.
Yeah, that's the game of the week.
Oh, okay. The ACC matchup.
That's
right.
Hey,
whoever goes to this TCU North Carolina game and wasted a lot of money. That's a whole lot.
They just went for fish and chips or whatever they eat in Ireland. Yeah, the green beer.
Wasting your money, man.
North Carolina.
I don't honestly, know. I'm going to let you guys take this because I thought about this for the last 4 or 5 years. I watch all the football. I don't start ranking teams until like after the 4th or 5th season. I don't like the rankings. I think whatever have you. Now I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch Florida State. But there's no game that I got to be home for this one. Not this week. Not for, to be honest with you, not at all this week. So I'm not, or week 0 as they call it. Here's what I get. What I'm tripping on. Week 0. Would you sort of be offended if you're playing? So you're not even telling me, you're not even calling us week 1. We're just week 0. You're just like the scrub. I don't even know what you're. Well, why? How did they even get week 0? Where'd that come from?
I can tell you the Virginia game was supposed to be played in, I want to say Brazil or something like that. So they got canceled. So they had to move it back to Charlottesville because it got canceled from there. So where do you move it to? You have to move it. And then that's why it ends up at week 0. But they were supposed to, like, you had the game in Dublin. They were supposed to be playing in Brazil. They're trying to do like the NFL. You're trying to spread it around and move it to the other countries. But now, yes, it is in Virginia. It's played in Charlotte.
I wonder if they other countries, which would be interesting to see, do they get into college football like we get into college football? Because a lot of people, you either went to that alma mater, somebody you knew, your parents or whatever, you know what I mean? But I would like to see, do they follow college sports like we do? And if let's say after 4 or 5 years, are they tailgating? Are they going crazy for? I'm interested. I want to hope. Do you guys know if they're doing any college game days in another country? Do you know if
I'm sure they are?
I want to watch.
I'm sure they are.
Check those out. I want to check those out.
Yeah, I'm sure they are because that's Still Loyal said they're starting to, which makes sense. Like that would make a lot of sense to me. So, all right.
It's all about the money.
That's all it is. Here's your top 10, fellas. Here's your top 10. Okay, and somebody already mentioned it. Ohio State. Who was that? Tyrone said Ohio State. So Ohio State number 1, Oregon number 2, Georgia number 3, Notre Dame number 4, Texas number 5, Indiana number 6, Miami number 7, Texas A&M 8, Ole Miss 9, Oklahoma 10. Who's most overrated in that top 10?
Look at his face.
Texas.
Notre Dame always. Please. Bums.
I'm going Texas. I'm going Texas only because if you look at their schedule, I mean, it is tough. Like
Texas's schedule?
It's a gauntlet, man. It's a gauntlet. I don't know how they make it through.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can go Notre Dame route. You can play Navy, Army, Air Force, Coast Guards, Pitt, and you got 5 rooms already.
Okay, so still loyal called out Tyrone. He said he's a huge Ohio State fan, and I appreciate that. And I'll tell you why Smith wasn't in the draft this year, because he needed one more year of eligibility, because he would have been a top 10 guy. He might have been a top 5 guy. That dude could ball. Like, I love that dude. He can play. He can play. No question about it. To me, the most overrated team out of those right there is probably going to be Indiana going into this year, because they're riding the coattail of what they did last year. All those guys they got to transfer in. They had a quarterback who really got the system, and he was a cool cucumber. I love using that word, by the way. He made the plays last year and got them to where they needed to be. Like, but I can't see it. I can't see it on repeat. Oh, they got Hoover. Well, we'll see if he can do the same thing that Mendoza did. That's going to be the big thing for them. And they're not going to slide by some of these teams who aren't fully prepared for Indiana this year. Everybody's going to be coming for them. They won the national championship. How about this? Who's the most underrated team out of that top 10?
Most underrated.
I was going to say the team you just said, Indiana.
Wow.
So they're the most overrated and underrated.
No. You said overrated. I didn't say overrated for me. My overrated was Texas. That's who my overrated was. So I went with Indiana as the underrated. Only because, yes, they are coming off the national championship. Yes, everybody expects them to take a seat, back a little bit. But we're going to really find out if dude can coach. I think we're going to find out, because everywhere he's gone, he's won. So
he is a winner.
Yeah, we're going to find out right now. Yeah, I agree
with Tyrone. I think Miami's going to be a little bit under the radar, only because they got Mensa. They brought in Mensa, and I think that that's going to make a huge difference. To be honest with you, like they got a hell of a quarterback that they brought in, and they paid his ass. They paid him a lot of money.
Is that good though? Is he that good?
Yeah, I've been reading. He ain't been looking too good.
When he was at Duke, he wasn't wow.
He was going to make $4 million at Duke this year, because they were hanging their hat on him. I mean, look at what Mendoza did before he went into last year, though. He wasn't that great. You see dudes change programs, and he's going to have more talent around him. You know that, Waddy. He's going to have more talent around him in Miami. What's the little man's name that plays in Miami? Because he's my guy.
Tony.
Yeah, he's my guy right there. And the sad piece is he's got to go 2 years, this year, next year, before he can come out. Right? You got to go 3 years. So I'll buy into Miami being there. Who's going to win that national championship, fellas? Who you think?
Man, that's a tough one.
Who's going to win the national championship?
Yeah.
I got Ohio State.
Ohio State?
Yeah.
Julian saying?
Ohio State. Receivers, always.
Chops? Who you think?
Big dog. I'll go Ohio State just because I'll go Ohio State. I mean, I'm just.
You don't like college ball, Chops?
No. I love college ball.
Oh, I'm about to say.
Like Waddy said, Texas is overrated. Do you realize your boy Manning has got all the accolades? He's this, he's that. He had 3 games last year where he threw over 300 yards against Sam Houston State, Mississippi State, and Arkansas. Arkansas had 2 wins. Mississippi State at least had 5. I mean, you can't, and I don't think they are all that. And there's a reason his grandfather Arch said before his junior year even started last year, he's not coming out early, because he knew his grandson wasn't ready. We believe the sun is going to rise tomorrow because it has so many times in the past. He just knows my grandson is good. He's got the name, but that's not him. And I think Texas is overrated too. I just do. But as for who's going to win it, that's hard for me to tell, because everybody's buying talent. So who spent the checkbook the best? You know what I mean? Or
we did that last week. We talked that last week, and I mean, just because you spend a big check, does it look? The Steelers had $160 million defense.
No. The best. No. The best. And when I say who spent money the best, because Indiana on who they brought in was the best, because a lot of those players were portal players, but they worked best in Cignetti's, system, because it has to be who works best. Because fellas, teams like we know them are gone. Guys don't have time, not in college, to build chemistry because they're there this year and they're gone the next. So how did you spend your money? I don't care if you brought in a wide receiver that runs a 4.2. If he can't catch, he doesn't run a nice tree. He doesn't, you know what I'm saying? So, but Indiana spent it the best. So who spends it the best this year? Your boy, what was his name? Kelly said he left LSU because he couldn't win a national championship yet there. Well, meanwhile, he's no longer coaching, and Freeman took Notre Dame to a national championship game. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's why I don't have a pick on who is gonna win it.
Waddy, who's gonna win the Heisman? Who's
Moore from quarterback.
Monte Moore?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna go with your boy, Waddy Chambly.
No.
Who you think, Sheen?
I got Chambly.
Okay. Yeah. Who you think, Chops?
Trinidad Shambliss. Well, I do like Trinidad, but Moore is getting so much hype. Quarterback from Oregon just coming out, and I don't care what's going on. Manning has them cats playing, so I gotta believe. I'm not saying he's going to be the best, but I think he is one of the most athletic QBs in the league this year. And they're talking about he's going to be a nice draft choice, but I think he's going into this season with a lot of hype. And I think with their record, I think with their talent, he doesn't have to do a whole lot, but I think he's going to win it. I think it may be just the way Mendoza did last year. Mendoza, to me, was not the best player in football, but he was the most well-known on the best team. So,
I'm going to throw this out there. I'm going to say Jeremiah Smith, and I'm going to tell you why. Y'all said Ohio State's going to be the number one team in the country. They're going to win the Natty. It's not going to be because of Julian Saint. It's going to be because of Jeremiah Smith. He's going to put up numbers.
More, I know, but they're going to have a running back, or a couple of them.
Absolutely, they always do. But I think that kid is. I think he's a cut above most of them kids playing, and he should be in the league right now. He should be in the league right now, unquestionably. All right, quick NFC East breakdown because time is really short for us. We got down a rabbit hole. Our boys was on here giving us all kind of junk, which was good. Eagles, strength. Watson, give me one.
O-line. Always has been.
Yep. For the same reason I worry about the Steelers. And I hate going back to my squad because they have had so many starts together. And
it don't matter who you plug in.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't matter.
Sheen, what's a concern for the Eagles?
The offensive scheme transition to the new scheme.
Okay. Chops, who should we watch out for, good or bad, on the Eagles this year?
Saquon, because I think he needs to be that strong running back. But hold on, real quick with what he said. Waddy, don't forget, this is like the 7th O coordinator since 2020 for the Eagles. And they've still been, no, seriously, and they've still been to two Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So we'll see if they get it. We'll see what's up with that.
Okay. In the last part of this is, are they still the favorite to win this division? I don't know so much. I mean, that's not the best division in the world, but I don't know. It depends on who stays healthy in that division because we know that Dak can throw the shit out of the ball. He does every year. We know that
the Eagles can cover that.
Yeah. We know that the Redskins have a more well-rounded roster if they can keep their quarterback upright.
Right, but they can't cover anybody.
Okay. So, all right, let's move on to the Redskins. Give me a strength, Chops.
Daniel. It's Jaden, without question. That's their strength.
Okay. Give me a concern, Waddy.
I have to watch and what's his name get pulled out after the first series. It's their O-line. Woo.
Yeah.
Man.
Yep. Sheen, who are we watching for on the Commanders?
Biggs, can he stay out of trouble around his local cronies?
You think he's going to get himself in some trouble since he's back around his boys?
Mark, it always does. It always just does.
I agree.
It just, for some reason.
Can they legitimately overcome? Can they legitimately overcome Philly? I don't know. I don't know because now they lost Mariota, their backup quarterback, and I don't even know who that. Then you got Sam Hartman and some other dude. Like I don't know. All right, let's go to Cowboys. Strength of the Cowboys, Sheen. Strength of the Cowboys.
The offense, of course. The wide receivers, the quarterback, the passing game.
Yep. What are you concerned for them?
It's still the defense until they prove it. I mean, you got to get out there and prove it.
Yeah, they got Quinn. But remember, this year they got Quinn Williams for an entire season.
I would go,
but I got to see it.
The concern would be the O-line depth because they don't have a lot of depth, but the health of your boy, as you said, how your boy Dak slings it. If Dak is not healthy, so that's a concern keeping him upright because Milton is their backup. Old Milton.
Who are we watching out for? Chops, who are we watching out for?
I like to look out for their D line. I like and their running back depth because they lost Dowdle. So I've been more their running back depth because if they
lost Dowdle 2 years ago, though,
you're not biting on fakes. If they're no,
they lost Dowdle 2 years ago. They got Javonte Williams and
that's right.
They got Blue,
Jalen Blue. Jalen Blue. Yeah, they got a Wham Bam. They got like a Pegram and bus combo right there. Hey, are the Cowboys contenders or are they just going to be make believe again? Are they going to make the playoffs? Yeah, they're pretenders. I think they're pretenders. I don't care who's coaching them. Until you get Jerry out of the picture, I don't like anything that goes on there. All right, the last team, strength of the Giants. Strength of the Giants, Chops.
I would say their offense, but I'm going to go neighbors. Just neighbors because Jackson Dart hasn't proven himself yet. We don't know what your boy Scatterboo is. He healthy? They showed him runs. He didn't look healthy. And Najee right now is their backup. We don't know. So I'm going to go neighbors. I'm just keeping it a buck. Seriously, I'm going to go with neighbors. Neighbors is that's their strength.
What's their concern then, Sheen?
Keeping Dart clean, offensive consistency.
Yeah. Keeping them out of the blue tent, right?
Yes, please.
Waddy, who we watching for on the Giants?
It's got to be Dart. It's got to be Dart. I mean, he's the QB. Along with the injury concerns, is he willing to throw the ball away? And then does he make that next step as far as second year?
My response to all this is because I've been wrapping it up. And the question is, can they surprise anybody? I think the Giants could surprise people because they got Harbaugh as a coach. And I think his strategy for going with the guys he has is going to be a lot more, not as conservative, but it's going to be conservative enough where they're going to win some games they probably shouldn't win. And I could see them hovering around that 8-9, 9-8 at the end of the day. That's a good season. If you were going to give me the four slots, give me their how they're going to end up. Give me 1 through 4.
Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, Giants.
Okay, Chops.
Yeah. I could possibly flip flop Commanders and Cowboys depending on the QB health, but I'm going Eagles. I got the Giants as the cellar dwellers.
Okay, Waddy.
I got Dallas, Philly, Washington, New York.
I'm going to ride with Waddy. I kind of have a feeling about Dallas winning that division. But I still, even if Dallas wins that division, I don't know if they can go anywhere in the playoffs. I just don't think they have the moxie to get beyond where they are.
Fellas,
that's me.
Real quick, 2 things. Number 1, until the Cowboys do what the Commanders did, until they got rid of your boy, I'm looking at him with Daniel, the owner. Quinn came in and changed him around because that owner wasn't always even talked about. Until Jerry Jones steps aside, the Cowboys, they're going to be talk about him, but they're going to be fizzled out by the end of the year. That's what I see. And number 2, got to shout out Back home, Vandergrift, everybody knows them, tees and tops with the new joints. Give them a call, hook it up.
Oh, I like it, Chops.
Hook it up. They get any color you want. Ask for Danny, tees and tops. Tell me you want the OSP joint. Whatever color, whatever set, they got you hooked up. OSP.
You put mine in the mail yet?
Vandergrift. What's that?
Put mine in the mail? Did you put mine in the mail?
Man, this is the first one I got because I didn't see what other colors. He got all kind, and I got a hat coming. Ooh, I'm gonna be killing him when I get the hat. Killing him.
He will. Waddy, what do you got for us? 2-minute drill. Let's end this thing. We're a little bit over.
Oh, okay. I got my man Sammy Coach. You guys remember him for the Steelers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Third round pick. Yeah, wide receiver. He took over a team last year that hadn't won a game since 2015. High school football team. They won their first game.
100 losses. 100 losses.
Yes.
Damn.
100 losses.
Sammy Coates.
Sammy
I
Coates.
can't catch a cold Coates. Yeah. Sheen, what do you got for us?
Enos Cantor wants to be a woman. Next.
That's not true. But that's where I was going with it too, because Sheen's onto something. Ernest Cantor officially signed
Enos.
to play in the WNBA, and he's trying to make a point to how ridiculous these rules are. Here's the problem. He got into it with the WNBA player. I can't remember her name because the WNBA is so in their feelings, they can't even see what's going on. Sophie Cunningham is trying to protect the sport. He is in Cantor was trying to protect the sport what he had with the shirt he had on, but these WN players were going to be open. Anybody can join. They're trying to make it safe for these little girls that are coming up that they can play against other women. And just they saw that shirt and players got triggered and didn't even realize what the message was. It was ridiculous. And I was going to go with your boy, old 49ers coach trying to buy $140 Hello Montana, but
he was in Ohio. He was in bumfuck Ohio in a trailer court. Oh my God!
Never know where you can find a deal. Never know where you can find a deal.
Ooh, she might have been drop dead gorgeous. Hell yeah! $140. That's like he scouts for change under his seat. That's what he got $140.
Did he pull up in like a limousine with security, or was he just?
He rode up in there and parked in her carport. He parked in her carport. Yes.
Crazy.
Oh man.
Hey, the only thing I'm with my little deal is, the boy who's going back to play football at LSU after he got drafted in the NFL.
Yeah,
that shit. That's as bad as the WNBA. If you can't make it in the NFL, go get yourself a job in Canada and play. Go to the UFL. Play arena ball if you want to play that bad. You don't go back to college, you fool.
If you want to let them play, seriously, I say if that's a loophole and they found it, God bless you, great. But here's what should happen. Whatever coach signs a guy that was in an NFL camp, that school automatically loses that coach for 6 games. It's because you have to punish the coach in the school because the player is going to do. He just wants to play ball. That's not. I would love to see that. I would love to see it. Punish the school.
You know who the coach is?
Les Miles.
No, at LSU.
Oh God, come on.
Yes, suspend him for 6 games.
Yeah, one of my kids goes to one of my kids I taught goes to Ole Miss. I talked to her the other day, and she told me that tickets for that game, student tickets, right now are selling for $1,000. LSU and Ole Miss,
without question.
I was like, damn, that's some craziness right there. All right, fellas, that's gonna do it for season 6, episode 5 of the OSP. We got 2 Steeler preseason games in the books. We talked about some college football, which officially kicks off this week. We looked at the NFC East predictions and how we think it's going to fall out. We're going to find out soon enough, though, which things we're getting right, especially with the Steelers. They played Thursday night this week.
Yeah, man.
And who's going to be on that bubble. When we come back next week, our guy, Waddy, will have a show all ready for us to talk about cuts. We're going to talk about who's going to get cut from the Steelers and what we think is going to happen going forward with some of those positions once they do the cuts. I think that's going to be pretty important. And we probably will dip our toes in around the league in case there's any significant things that happen after this game. But remember, they don't have to cut dudes until like the week of like the Saturday before the first game. But we also will be able to take a look at college football after it plays, and who knows what's going to happen in the WNBA. What's his name? Enos Campbell or whatever. Enos Cantor might be out there fighting them girls pretty soon. I want to see him go with that girl that was in jail in Russia. What's his name?
Brittany Griner.
Yeah, Brittany Griner, Bobby Griner. I want to see him go with her. Hey, fellas, great show, man. Thanks to all you people who chimed in tonight. We really appreciate you getting on here, giving us shit. It's fun as hell to.
How's my mic sound? How's my mic sound, Somber?
to do the banter. So, hey, everybody have a good week. We'll see you next Monday night on the OSP.
Holla.